Hey everybody, Chansonette here. Meet Keto MECFS Warrior channel. I realized I haven't done one of these for a bit. It's been a busy week and I've been working a lot. Not a lot, but more than I usually do. But it is now day 18 of my Bbb&E N of 1 MECFS experiment. I'm a lot less perky today than I have been in the other videos that I made recently. But this has come as you are because part of what I'm doing is raising awareness about this illness. And I'm a good example of the fluctuations that can happen. So, for example, the last few days, this week has been pretty good in terms of my capacity coming back. I had COVID, oh God, it must have been 2 months ago now. And the body is still not recovered from that experience, which normally I would have taken as a setback or a relapse, some kind of relapse in my progress in my ongoing attempts to achieve a sustainable recovery from this illness so that I can actually live a fuller life. But I queried a bunch of my other warrior friends, and every single one of them that had COVID over top of MECFS said, yeah, it's going to take a hot minute and you got to be patient. And up until about 2 days ago, I had lost that patience because I'm basically bedbound again. And it was very hard to get up out of bed. I have a lot of muscle weakness. And, there were days when I actually couldn't make myself a carnivore meal. So I had to, I had my morning fat coffee, which I absolutely love, which I will repeat. What I make it of is a locally brewed, wonderful organic coffee, and about that much heavy cream in the bottom of the glass mug, and then a bigger and bigger every time, like a big chunk of butter, maybe 2 tablespoons of butter, tablespoon of MCT C6, C8, C10 oil, a whole bunch of Redmond's real salt. But I use unsalted butter now. Somebody on another carnivore channel pointed out, rightly so, that we don't know what kind of salt they're putting in salted butter, and regular salt that isn't Redmond's real salt can have all kinds of weird stuff in it, like little bits of plastic, which not really the best thing to be putting in our bodies. And then some iodine drops. I forget what we call Lugar's iodine, which I started using again. So I would do that, and then towards the end of that in the morning, and that would keep me satisfied all day. And then towards the end of the day, I'd do the same thing again, but not coffee, with Premier Protein. which is, I know it's not ideal, it's whey protein, but it works well enough for me right now. And I don't know what this thing is. Something just went weird with my computer. It was, last week was a pretty tough week. Pretty tough. Emotionally, very tough emotionally. And, you get to the point where I've been dealing with this for 7 years, this illness, and I have been, in the last 2 years, I got back to from about 20%, maybe more bedbound than anything else, a really, like a reasonably severe case, to 75% functionality. And then I relapsed in the spring of 2022 because I had to move, and I had a lot of work pressure at the same time, and it just, the body just tanked. And I have not recovered from that relapse. I've not recovered from that relapse. I have reasonably good weeks, like the week before 2 weeks before I got COVID. The 3 weeks before I got COVID, I was making very real progress. And I was able to go see my horse a couple times and, be up and about, participate in the family with no ill effects. But then COVID just smashed that. So last week I was not in a good emotional or spiritual place at all, which is not unusual, this illness. The illness itself can make you depressed, just being so inactive all the time. And, and even so, I have stayed true to my carnivore commitment, and I'm super proud of myself about that. And my sleep continues to be really amazing, like really good. And what else? Still no cravings, nothing like that. And in the past few days, today I'm in a little bit of a dip, kind of a major dip, but the past 2 or 3 days, I have had increasingly good muscle strength. Been able to just get up out of bed instead of like sitting there like an old woman going, "Ugh, okay, okay, which of these legs is going to work for me now?" No, but like just get right up and be able to kind of walk normally into the kitchen, stuff like that. I actually was also able to work. I've got a small project at the moment and also a novel. So I was able to work and sit up in my granny chair and interact with my grandson. And there was one day where I was even well enough in the late afternoon to feed the animals so that my daughter doesn't have to when she gets home from her commute at 7:30, and run a load of dishes. And that's a lot. That's a lot for somebody with ME/CFS. And so I'm just rolling along. I'm not weighing myself. Sad. I might weigh in tomorrow because weight loss really isn't that big a deal to me right now. What I'm looking for is improvement in my stamina, my physical strength, my energy envelope, and my brain function. I have noticed that the past few days that I have been able to communicate clearly and do intellectually functional things as late as 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a huge improvement. Like, that is massive, because usually I'm done. Like, a lot of people with this illness get their energy later in the afternoon. They wake up tired. I wake up good, ready to go. I'm waking up now between 5 and 6 in the morning without an alarm and feeling like, okay, it's a new day. And then gradually, I get to the point where I'm done and have to go on the bed. So for me, I'm usually bright and chipper and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and able to communicate in the morning. But by the time it hits around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, then it gets harder for me to understand what people are saying to me. And it gets harder for me to respond. And if there's a lot going on, like if my grandson wants to chat with me and there's a lot going on with the dogs or the cats or the animals or ambient noise from we live in a pretty suburban area, so somebody's always mowing their lawn or blowing their leaves or, building something or whatever. So there's usually quite a bit of ambient noise. And if that's going on and there's like 2 or 3 different brain stimulating things going on, then I can't, like, it's like the sound of his voice and the words are coming through kind of a buffer, and they land in my brain, and I'm aware that they've landed in my brain, but I often have to say, can you say that again? And then formulating a response. The weird thing that happens is there'll be like 2 or 3 different words clashing in my brain in order to, like, choosing themselves. And I my mouth tries to speak all 3 at once. It's very strange. It's just very strange. It'd be kind of fun to be a fly on the wall in terms of what's going on with the neurology in that brain. But that it usually gets like that, starts around 2:30 in the afternoon, and then I'm just done. I'm done. But it's been, in this past week, I have had more and more and more cognitive capacity each day. And even now, it's I'm having to go a lot. And I'm not editing these videos. I'm not going to, because my mission is to raise awareness in the carnivore healing community about this illness, because nobody really knows anything about it. And also to raise awareness in the MECFS community about the potential of carnivore or meat-based, high-fat ketogenic healing diet, reversing out some of these things that are happening to us, to our bodies. So I'm not going to airbrush or do anything like that. Some days you'll see me with my makeup on all perky and pert, and some days you won't. I hope most of the days you'll see me with my tooth in. See, this tooth fell out. It had to be pulled because of advanced severe periodontal disease, which I'm also really hoping. I've heard anecdotally that carnivore can make a huge difference in that. So, anyways, so that's basically what's been going on. And the last few days, I have also, like today, I was feeling joy again. I have the capacity to feel joy, and my connection with the divine, and a longtime practice of letting go and just letting be what is and finding things to be grateful for. And it's been coming back. So I feel like a weight has lifted. And part of the reason the weight lifted is because I got a contract. I'm a freelance, I would say, prose doctor. And when I make money, I make really good money because I work mostly with think tanks in the policy space. And that's been slim pickings for the last year. So the financial situation has been feeling increasingly dire. But just in the last few days, I got a contract. I'm going to be signing a contract for 6 months for 20 hours a week with my favorite policy group at my freelance rate. So, and I'm confident I'm going to be able to do 20 hours a week. I'm very confident I'm going to be able to do that. Because I'm really functional in the morning. So 5 mornings a week. And that's going to take a huge amount of pressure off me because it means I'm going to be able to pay down some of the debts that I had to accrue just to survive and keep a roof over my family's head this past year. Because I was not well enough this past year to do any kind of business development. I just had to take what came. And I got a fair amount of work ghostwriting, doing editing and ghostwriting for a ghostwriting company. But the pay was okay, but it wasn't enough. So when you're in a shortfall month after month after month after month, after a while, it gets pretty daunting. And I have a history of money trauma from my childhood, which I won't go into, but that's this new thing that's coming. Plus, I still have, I'm still getting work. I'm still getting novels, and looks like I'm going to be closing a deal with another policy institute who has a big backlog of work. So the work arena, which means the money stress, is going to be good, assuming that I have the capacity to actually do the work. Just I'm keeping a good thought. So that's it for me. I had a really nice meal this morning of just lightly sautéed clumps of Wagyu beef, ground beef, and 3 wonderful pasture-raised organic eggs with those beautiful red-orange yolks. So I had that around noon, and that's probably going to be it for the day. And now I'm going to wish you guys a happy time. Blow kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And we'll talk to you soon. Again, I have to figure out how do I stop this.